Thank you. I'm now joined by Dr. Michael Ryan. He's the chairman of pediatrics and the chairman of Children's Miracle Network. So Dr. Ryan, since the telethon started, people have donated $56 million to the hospital. What does that mean?
Yeah, it's a tremendous amount of money, isn't it? And you do look around and say, you know, this is because of the telethon we've been able to do these things. All you have to do is walk through our neonatal intensive care unit and look at the equipment that's labeled there, our pediatric intensive care unit. Or even clinics. You know, we have a very nice clinic in Grays Woods out in the State College area. This year we're buying them a very fancy hearing test screener so that children who come in who need a hearing screen, we can do it right on site there at the Grays Woods place. But many of our sites we've been able to buy additional equipment that they may not have had. Recently one of our pediatricians left Geisinger, relocated to another state, and called back and said, you know, these people don't even have a pulse oximeter in their office, which she found to be incredible. But it's one we take for granted because it's one that we commonly buy for our outreach clinics. And so if you have a child who goes in there and is having trouble breathing, you know, we can assess their oxygen by just putting a little probe on their finger or their heel and able to tell them what it is. So it's things we now take for granted that may not necessarily be the standard of care in other parts of the world. We think we provide a high quality care at a consistency that's not produced elsewhere.
And so in medicine, there are always new technologies, new methods. What's on the horizon for you here?
Well, there's always something new, and very often it's in specialties for which there's technology. For instance, cardiology, we're always looking for new and improved methods of evaluating your heart without, you know, sticking needles in you or hurting you. And so we're doing some additional echocardiography equipment this year. We did some last year. I was just with our echo tech the other day, and he was telling me how much he enjoys doing the fetal ultrasounds, because now, I mean, the fetal ultrasounds, before I used to joke it looked like Tokyo at 10,000 feet, but now, you know, you can see body parts, you can see colors, you can see images, and it's almost like it's high definition TV. Well, it is a high definition ultrasound, and that's exactly what you see when you look at the baby. So there's always that technology going on.
And what would make a pediatric emergency room different from a general emergency room?
Well, if you've ever been in an emergency room, you know, emergency rooms are just the front door to most hospitals. And 60% of your admissions come through your emergency room, no matter what kind of facility you have. And very often, you know, emergency rooms are overrun with patients. I was in here the other night at 2 a.m. admitting a child, and I was just incredible at how many people were stuck in halls and you know, in rooms that were already crowded, you know, waiting for beds and waiting for tests and things to come back so that they could be taken care of. And you know, if you're a pediatric patient, you know, you don't want to be in with some old person like myself. You know, you want to be in there with you know, young people and other children and other parents. And so that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a separate facility where it's just children and it's just people taking care of those people who want to take care of children.
So for the pediatric emergency room, is the goal to get the funding for that, that's going to come from this weekend? Or?
Well, part of it.
Okay.
Part of it. Yeah, again, you know, we're funding $1 million over 5 years. It's going to cost a lot more than that to build a pediatric emergency room. And in fact, we're looking this as part of a new facility, and you know, we're working through all the details of how that was going to flow and when and how it's going to flow. It's always a challenge as to what you're going to put into something new, and if you take up more space on the campus, where are people going to park, and do we need another parking garage? And you know, these things are sometimes complicated and difficult to arrange, but you know, Geisinger, we have a very good track system of figuring out how to do these things and how to get it right, and it's just going to take us another couple of years till we're sure exactly how we want it to flow and where the funding's coming from to get all this done, but we're pretty confident it's going to happen.
So this weekend is very important.
This weekend's very important to us. You know, it allows us a couple things. First of all, it allows us to raise a lot of money, which we do spend on the kids, and we do, you know, use it appropriately. And again, our funding committee is made up of, it's not just doctors and nurses. We have respiratory therapists, we have physical therapists, we have child life people on there, we have some people from CMN, we have some community-minded people who just want to see how the money's spent. It's a very open process. We vote on everything. Everybody's vote's equal. And it's always amazed me how well this process goes over the years.
Well, you heard it from the doctor himself. This is a very important weekend. Dr. Ryan, thank you for sharing with us. We'll send it back to you guys.